Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this What's New in LoadRunner 1260 webinar. My name is Anat Robinson, and I will be hosting today's event. Joining me today as presenters are Cyrus Manasharian, LoadRunner and Performance Center Product Manager, Gil Kedem, R&D Team Leader, Adrian David, LoadRunner R&D Manager, and Amit Coleman, Software Engineer in TruClient R&D Team. Cyrus will walk you through the LoadRunner 1260 highlights and new features detailed overview. Adrian will present you the controller command line interface and the raw result exporter tool. Amit will share with you new features in TruClient, and Gil will present you TrueWeb, our new web protocol. We will finalize our webinar with a review of our customers' programs and discuss the coming webinars. Before we begin, I'd like to encourage you to submit questions and comments during our event. To do so, just type your question or comment in the question box below the slides and submit. We have a Q&A session at the end of the event, and we will answer as many questions as we're able to during that time. The session's recording, slide deck, and the Q&A file will be available for downloads, and we will send you the link in a few days. Now we will start with LoadRunner 1260 highlights and a new features overview. Cyrus, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi everyone. My name is Cyrus Manacharian. I'm the product manager for LoadRunner Performance Center. And as Anat had suggested, we're going to kind of describe and discuss some of the new features and capabilities that were added to this release of LoadRunner. We're going to walk through some of the updates made on the protocol side, and then we're also going to talk about some of the features that were added to LoadRunner, the solution itself. Now we've kind of categorized some of the benefits that were added within 1260 into three different categories: DevOps, Insights, and business decisions. I plan to describe and discuss each one of these items, but as you can see, the team really invested a lot in this release of LoadRunner, and this is something that we're going to push forward with as we go with future releases. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some of the updates made to the protocol side, starting with TruClient, and then we'll make our way down to LoadRunner itself. So starting with TruClient, one of the biggest updates that we did was the introduction of TruClient browser. If many of you are familiar with this or not, the TruClient browser was actually added in version 1256, both for LoadRunner and Performance Center, but it was added as a tech preview. Today, with the release of 1260, which was actually released at the end of August, the TruClient browser is now fully supported, and it's actually based on the Mozilla Firefox version 5802. So what you'll see once you do the upgrade to version 1260 is that the Mozilla Firefox browser will no longer be an option selection, but in replace of that will be the TruClient browser. Also, just to round out some of the updates made to TruClient as well, the TruClient native mobile protocol is now actually working with the TruClient browser as well, and we've made an update there from the version of the Firefox codebase from version 40 to version 50. TruClient Coded was introduced as a tech preview in 1255, and this gives you some really advanced capabilities once you've actually recorded your script within TruClient, giving you the capability to convert your actions into code. We've had a lot of success with this since its inception in 1255, and it's something that the team is actually continuing to improve and grow on with each of the releases. In 1260, we did some optimization and some debugger improvements. So what that really means to you is when you're actually converting the actions to code, you can now benefit from expanded debugging functionality using an inspector panel. which actually enables you to see a detailed review of variable values used in the code. Now, while we continue to improve and optimize TruClient coded, it still remains in technical preview. So we thoroughly encourage you to use it, and please provide feedback. Also, TruClient now includes interactive walkthroughs and guidance, providing help within the TruClient application with onboarding, product tours, and more. When you actually open up TruClient, when you are recording your scripts or just before you record your scripts, you'll see a nice little robot that will actually engage and help you with the onboarding as well as the product tours as well. Now, I'd like to talk to you about TrueWeb, which is our new protocol offering within our protocol family. As you can see, TrueWeb is in tech preview. It's something that was just released within the 1260 family of LoadRunner and Performance Center, as well as 3.1 of StormRunner Load. The team created something here that is quite unique and provides a lot of value to our end users. It is very straightforward and intuitive, and it uses any third-party JavaScript solutions out there. Now, I'd like to explain to you a little bit about TrueWeb from the different aspects that it provides value to you as our end user. TrueWeb has a lot of out-of-the-box complex features. HTTP2 support, authentication, response body, parameters. These are just some of the features that they've added to this initial release. And what we plan on doing with future releases is to expand and add on to more of those complex features. Now, from a flexibility perspective, what's really unique here is the amount of support that it provides. So let's talk about the support a little bit. TrueWeb has support on multi-different platforms. Given the fact that it can use third-party JavaScript, we can now support not only the Windows OS, but as well as Linux and Mac OS. And we can do that through multiple IDEs. Some of those IDEs are Atom.io, Visual Studio Code, and WebStorm. And on top of that, it directly has its capabilities through VueGen. So if you can clearly see the capabilities that are available with being able to have developers create scripts based on code that they've developed, and then the performance testing or performance engineering teams are able to leverage that same script and actually execute that within one of our 3 performance testing solutions. But that's not it. That's not all. TrueWeb also has a standalone component as well, which means that it allows you to actually execute those scripts via local host. So not only can developers actually create scripts and execute a low-level or a sanity test based off of the code that they've developed, that they've submitted, or a build, but then they can also use that same script and use that within LoadRunner, Performance Center, or StormRunner Load. This gives DevOps a whole new meaning, and it brings performance testing and performance engineering to the left. So this is something that the team has worked on very actively, and we're very excited to see the adoption of this, and we've actually seen quite a bit so far since its inception, as well as in beta phase as well. So stay tuned as more capabilities to TrueWeb come to light. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the non-web protocols, and then we'll dive into LoadRunner capabilities as well. So we made quite a bit of advancements within some of the other protocols as well as part of 1260. We now are able to support the Java protocols on Java 9 and 10, and we are actively pursuing support for Java 11 as well. For SAP, we are able to record and replay SAP GUI 7.5 on both Windows 10 and Windows Server 2016 OSs. For the PCOIP protocol, we actually enhanced the desktop pool support with the ability to sync on bitmap timeout per step. For the Oracle NCA protocol, it now actually has a new runtime setting that enables connecting to one or more multiple IP addresses. We upgraded OpenSSL to version 110G, and if you are familiar with the installation of LoadRunner, we no longer require the prerequisites for the Microsoft Visual C++ redistributables, and those are for versions 2010, 2012, and 2013. Now we're actually going to get into the product itself, and we're going to talk about some of the new features that were added and what value that brings to you. So the team introduced the raw results exporter, and this is an easy way to actually export your results via the raw results exporter, and that's typically the LRR file. And it can export to a JSON format or into InfluxDB. If you're not familiar with InfluxDB, this is a time series database. It's something that we've used within our Performance Center family before, and now we're bringing it to the LoadRunner family as well. And what this exporting actually does, it enables you to aggregate data using third-party dashboarding solutions. So one of the third-party solutions, dashboarding solutions we've actually done this with and integrated with is Grafana. And this is just an example of what that dashboard could look like post-run. So again, the raw results exporter allows you to export the data from the LRR file to either a JSON format or into an instance of InfluxDB that you would have in your environment. And then based on those two formats, you're able to actually aggregate the data into third-party dashboarding solutions. And in our case, we used Grafana. Now, the LoadRunner CLI, or the command line interface, actually allows you to automate scenarios using the CLI tools. And you can invoke that via an XML input file or the LRS file, which is essentially just a LoadRunner scenario file. Now, the XML input file can be constructed prior to running scenarios, allowing you to kind of fully automate the flow, if you want to think of it as maybe even automating a DevOps-oriented flow where you want to incorporate performance testing as part of your DevOps pipeline. And some of those flows that are able to be used are pulling scripts from any source control system. So you can think about Git, Tortoise SVN, many other source control systems. Dynamically allocate Dockerized load generators, as well as running scenarios from any CI tool as well. So this is really giving you a lot of capabilities as part of a pipeline perspective. If you're definitely shifting left or you're incorporating performance tests as part of your overall pipeline, this gives you a lot of flexibility in that manner. Now, as we talked about Dockerized load generators as part of the LoadRunner CLI tool, let's actually talk about Dockerized load generators as a whole. We've actually had Dockerized load generators supported since 1253 on a Linux platform. Now in 1260, we've actually included Dockerized load generators for the Windows platform as well. So this supports HTTP and HTML protocols as well as Java protocols as well. The link below is actually the link to our Docker Hub, where you can actually pull both Linux and Windows platform Dockerized load generators. Now, within 1260, the Windows Dockerized load generators are in tech preview, but we've had a lot of positive feedback from our customers that were part of the beta for this. Now, the final topic I'd like to talk about is a decision that we've made as a team when it came to network virtualization. So what we've decided to do as part of the 1260 release for both LoadRunner and Performance Center and going forward is that network virtualization is now included as part of LoadRunner and Performance Center. So let me explain a little bit what that means to you as the end user. When you do upgrade to 1260, network virtualization will now be included both from an installation and from a feature set as a perspective. There's no need to purchase any additional licenses. The capabilities that you'll actually gain from this change is network emulation as well as NV insights that will now be included as part of this release. Now, if you are familiar with network virtualization and the key capabilities that it brings, one of the ones that will not be included will be network capture. If you do use the community license of LoadRunner, then the NV Analytics or NV Insights will also be included as it will be included within VUGen 1260 within the Community Edition as well. So there's no charge there at all. So I hope some of this information that we've been able to provide to you has been extremely forthcoming. What I would like to do is I'm going to actually pass it over to Adrian David, who is our LoadRunner and R&D manager. And he's actually going to give you a really cool preview of the command line interface capability as well as the raw results exporter. Adrian, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thank you, Cyrus. Hi, everyone. So my name is Adrian, and I'm going to present you two brand new LoadRunner extensions that will enable you to better integrate our performance tool in your DevOps environment. The first one is the controller command line interface tool that will enable you to create new test scenarios on the fly. In order to create such a scenario, one needs to fill in an XML configuration file as presented. This XML has three parts: groups, hosts, and scheduler. In the group sections, you need to define each group, number of users, and the associated script and the load generator. In the host section, you will define all your load generator properties. In the scheduler, you will define the duration of your test. This XML file can be constructed manually or through various automation scripts or batch files. Having the XML completed, now we can go ahead and execute our test from the command line using the CLI controller app located in the bin folder of the installation of LoadRunner. This application will take as parameters the previously created XML file and details about the results handling, such as collate or collate and analyze, and also the path to storing the results. Now we are ready to execute the scenario from command line. We can see that the controller is launched, the scenario is created, and the test is started. Once the test is completed, the controller is closed, and we can see the test results in the predefined location. Having these results, we can now explore the second product extension, which is called LR Results Exporter. With this tool, we can export the results of the test in JSON format, or we can push the results into InfluxDB and visualize them in Grafana. In this session, I'm going to demo the export to JSON feature. The only thing you need to do is launch the tool from the command line, giving it the source and target directory, and to append the to.json flag. As you can see, the export is really fast, which makes this tool very useful in case you will need to process large test results. Once the export is ready, we can see all the data from the test formatted in an easy to understand and further process set of JSON files. We can see details about the user's ramp up and ramp down phase. We can see breakdown of the transaction information. And we can also see monitoring data points in case you have used monitoring solutions in your test run. I encourage you to attend our dedicated upcoming webinar, where we are going to present further capabilities of these two tools and show you how you can easily construct a Jenkins automation scenario while integrating with Git, Docker, InfluxDB, and Grafana dashboard. Thank you very much for the attention. We are very excited about these two new capabilities, and we will be looking to meet you in the community space to assist you in integrating LoadRunner in your DevOps environment. Back to you, Cyrus.
Hi, my name is Amit, and I'm a software engineer in TruClient's R&D team. First, I would like to shortly introduce you to TruClient browser, which has replaced legacy Firefox browser in TruClient. Note that you will no longer find Firefox in the browser selection drop-down menu, and Firefox scripts have full backward compatibility using TruClient browser. You can see the TruClient browser is Mozilla-based browser of version 58.0.2. Now I'd like to demonstrate the new interactive guidance feature offered by TruClient 1260. It's available in both Chromium and IE. You can also use it in Chrome by downloading TruClient Lite Chrome extension. A welcome screen is presented right away upon developing a script for the very first time. You can watch a YouTube video to create your own TruClient script, or simply hitting Let's Go to get interactive guidance. In less than 3 minutes, you're guided step-by-step in recording, replaying, and adding a transaction to your business process to measure the performance. You're welcome to use the Advantage online shopping website or use any other web application. We'll record some basic operations for this demo. Interactive guidance is an online resource, so it requires an active internet connection. It also means that it's always up to date, aiming for a quick and easy TruClient ramp-up, with some more advanced topics to be covered soon. There are 4 available walkthroughs that will introduce you to TruClient's UI, basic recorded step structure, and available buttons in TruClient's menu bar. You can also search the online help center using the search box and access additional online resources. After recording, we hit replay to allow TruClient collect additional information on the selected objects and make sure that the script works just as expected. We then select 1 steps or more to surround them by transaction with a meaningful name. Well done. Your first TrueClient script is ready to use. Interactive guidance menu allows a quick access to additional walkthroughs, a search feature, and a tasks tab to track your personal progress and education in TrueClient. TrueClient allows converting actions into JavaScript code using coded feature. It allows flexibility and is a natural way of editing scripts. Powered by well-documented APIs, it eases the process of editing and maintaining scripts of a large scale. TrueClient 1260 improves the debugging capabilities of coded actions, using breakpoints and the inspector panel to watch values of different types: strings, objects, numbers, and more. You can now place breakpoints just like you would do in any other TrueClient action and easily debug your script. In this example, we defined variables and used the inspector panel to watch their values changing during the replay. We set corresponding breakpoints, add the variable names as expressions to the inspector panel, and hit play to see the updates following every executed line of code. Thank you. That's all from TrueClient side, and now I'm going to pass it to Gil Kedem, R&D Manager.
Thank you, Amit. I'm Gil Kedem, and I will demonstrate TrueWeb. TrueWeb is deployed into a Vuegen, LoadRunner, or Performance Center installations. The standalone version is available in the ADM marketplace. Here you can find TrueWeb for various platforms. The TrueWeb plugin for Atom.io is here as well. We mentioned the TrueWeb is lightweight. You can see here that the TrueWeb is a zip of about 30 megabytes only. In the resources section, you have links to the online documentation and more info, and a set of tutorial videos to help you get up to speed easily. The deployed folder also contains a set of example scripts, so you can try some of the TrueWeb capabilities yourself. We will now see how to create a script from a browser-generated HAR file. We will use Chrome browser for this demo. By opening the toolbar, Developer Tools, make sure to preserve the log and disable the cache to capture all the traffic that we need. We will use the Advantage Online Shopping here as well. We wait until all the resources are loaded, and then we will be able to do a login. Note, in case you don't want to use a browser, you can use the optional proxy recorder that you can download from the marketplace as well to create your HAR file. Once done, we can stop the recording, save the network traffic as HAR file, and then we can use the offline script generator in command line. We will use the offline generator tool to convert the HAR file into a TrueWeb script. You can see the mode is HAR in this case, and level is pages, the HAR file, and the output folder to create the script in. Generating the script with this tool is very, very fast, as you can see. Using Vuegen, you can create new scripts manually, as I will show in a moment. But since we already created a script with the offline generator, we will just use the import TrueWeb script option this time. Once imported, you can see the script is using the brand new JavaScript SDK that is also very intuitive. The script contains run logic in the main.js file, the initialize action, and of course the finalize at the end. Each script has its own runtime settings in the rts.yaml file. In this case, we will disable the script-specific proxy settings as we predefine those in the default RTS YAML. I will show you a couple of capabilities from the SDK. So I will add a transaction to measure the login part that should contain the last 2 requests in the script. Our transaction variable is T1. We will start the transaction just before the first request it wraps and stop it right after the last request has ended. Next, I would like to demonstrate how we get a correlation value from a response. In this case, I have the popular product JSON file. For JSON, we can use the JSON path correlation. We will look for the price of the HP ElitePad 1000 product. Now our script is ready to run. The output of the script execution is available in the output window. Once completed, we can see the transaction time for the login transaction. In this case, it took 673 milliseconds. Looking for the extracted correlation value, we can see that the price of the product is 550. Our script works as expected. Now we can run it in load mode using the controller. Let's create a controller scenario with 3 users. In the controller, you can use your TrueWeb scripts in any of the available schedulers, just as any other LoadRunner protocol. In this case, we will use some basic scheduling. We'll adjust the ramp up, duration, and teardown. Ready to run. While running, you can see the common web measurements, transactions, and also error data. Since we added a transaction to the script, let's also add the past transactions per second graph as well. Of course, all these measurements will be available for you when you choose to analyze the results with the analysis, but we will not focus on that in our demo today. The execution is completed, and now I'd like to show something a bit different. As mentioned, TrueWeb is available as standalone. You can use any JavaScript IDE to edit TrueWeb scripts, just like Cyrus mentioned. Let me show you how to use Atom.io. I've already placed the dedicated plugin, so we'll have TrueWeb ready, embedded into our Atom.io installation. We'll use the script that we already edited in Vuegen, just as an example. Just to mention that we can run either single mode, which is one user for one iteration with this plugin, or we can run in load mode. Running in load mode, we use the scenario YAML file to define a basic scheduler for this load. Let's run 3 users for 30 seconds. We can see here as well all the output in the output pane. The raw results of the execution are kept in a SQLite database format file. Let's view the results. We can see the transaction instances, their status and times. You can see multiple users of this running the same transaction. You can also see the HTTP hits with the response codes and much more. You are welcome to use our online help, guides, and videos to learn about this brand new protocol. I hope you are excited about it, as I am. Thank you. And now, back to you, Anat.
Thank you, Cyrus, Adrian, Amit, and Gil. So we've had some great questions come in, so let's just jump right in. So first question, what is the difference between TrueClient, TrueWeb, and Web HTTP HTML? So TrueClient is a web-based application on browser UI level, while both Web HTTP HTML and TrueWeb are transport level protocols. With TrueClient, you gain less scripting time, no need to handle correlation, and more accurate representation of end-user activity with the cost of memory intensive compared to Web or TrueWeb. Now let's compare LoadRunner Web HTTP HTML and TrueWeb protocols, which are transport level and therefore much more scalable. TrueWeb providing a lightweight, scalable, and cross-platform solution and can also be used as standalone tool. For 1260, it's free and unlimited. LoadRunner Web HTTP HTML is the most scalable protocol, and it comes with all the performance testing tools, snapshot, advanced parameter, advanced correlation, and more, unlike TrueWeb, which is still in tech preview mode. And another question, is TrueWeb replacing Web HTTP HTML? So Web HTTP HTML is the market leader web protocol, and for many good reasons. We will keep it as the market leader for the heavy-duty tests. For the more common use cases, we aim TrueWeb to be the default for the use cases that you just want to get the job done. Before we finish, let me go over some of the programs. In these programs, you can work along with us during the different stages of the LoadRunner release lifecycle. We have the Design Partner Program running in the early stages of development for review and feedback on the planned new features. Beta program will run before each release. It gives you the opportunity to be exposed to the coming release on its early stage, test it on your environment, and share your feedback. Early adopter programs. Right after the public release, we implement the new version with numerous customers for feedback and future release requests. If you would like to participate as one of these customers, please send us an email to plv_cost@microfocus.com, and we will get back to you. We'd also like to share with you our next webinar. We have the controller command line interface, export to Grafana features and its integration into a Jenkins job webinar, and the Performance Center configuration with SSL webinar. Please stay tuned. We will soon keep you updated for the webinar's dates. Please note that a replay of today's event plus a PDF copy of the slide and the Q&A file will be available on demand, and we invite you to share them with your colleagues. Thank you very much for attending the webinar today. We hope you find it interesting and beneficial. Have a great day, and thanks for joining.